Folks, I just watched Andre's uh, Black Nerd Comedies teaser review, if you will, and I was thinking kind of along the same lines as well of what he was saying because, folks, when it comes to the Fantastic Four teaser that we got, no matter how much we complained and bitched and moaned about, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, and it's not right that they do this, it's not right that they cast this person as that person, and for all the bitching and moaning, we should learn by now that when a movie company when owns the rights, even if it's temporary, if they own the rights to a character or to a franchise, the movie licensing rights, if you will, if they own those very rights, then they can pretty much write the movie any which way they want as long as it gets improved, as long as Marvel is giving the credit that this is where it came from. Marvel Studios, when they do their stuff, yes, they're owned by Disney, but when Marvel Studios does their stuff, they don't have to worry about saying, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, we're going to change this and that, because they own the rights to those films. They can pretty much go from the comic book that the films are based off and say, what can we do next? Oh, I know, let's do this. Oh, let's do that. But if they only own the rights to the comics, which they rightfully created, but they don't own the movie rights because they gave those rights to another studio, then that studio in agreement can say, yes, this is a Marvel film, a Marvel Comics film, but we're releasing it. We're putting the money out for it. It's under our name. It's a Fox film, or it's a WB film, or it's a Sony film. Yes, it's a Marvel character, but it's our property. So they can do whatever they want with it. And I'm thinking, in my opinion, that when it was announced that the Fantastic Four movie was going to be like this, one has to think in a sense, and I'm not trying to defend the decisions or anything like that, but one has to think in a sense that the person behind the casting, the writing, and all that, basically the studio itself, that are basically in charge of this film, realize that the last two films didn't do so well. One, because they had a PG and a PG-13 rating. Okay? They were basically family-friendly films. People say they were wacky, they were silly. I mean, what did you have in the films? What? Did you have Sue Storm kind of have fun with her invisible powers and go invisible and be a little mischiefy with it? If that's the case, hey, fine. Hold on for a sec. Like I said, okay, fine. If that's your plan, if that's what you're going to do with Sue Storm and her powers, and it's a PG-rated film or PG-13 rated film, but it's mainly based at the but it's mainly based as a family-friendly feature, then you have the right to do that. I mean, basically, if that was the case, I'm not saying, because I haven't really watched the movie that much. I've watched snippets here and there, even though I freaking own both movies on DVD and the first film on Blu-ray. Just because you may or may have not done that, it's basically fun because it's kind of showing the little girl side of her coming out, if they did that, of her playing with the powers and having fun with it. But if you're 20th Century Fox, if you're the people behind this reboot, this retcon, whatever you want to call it, and you look at the fact that, yes, even though your first two movies made good money, they weren't the hits you were hoping for. They weren't the blockbusters that your other superhero films that you have licensing fees to, like X-Men were. You want to remedy that. You want to say, well, how can we fix that? How can we get people behind this? How can we get them to not pan it or hurt it? And what do? You basically say, okay, what can we do? You ask yourself that question, and then you look around and you think, well, certain Marvel, the people that own this, that publish the books and have the overall rights, except for the movie rights, but have a majority of the rights anyway. They're doing different things here and there. Heck, they even made She-Hulk a Fantastic Four member. They made SpiderMan part of the Fantastic Four for a while. Heck, they even have a black Spider-Man in Miles Morales, or whatever. Can't think of his name, and I apologize. But you have all this going on. And yet people are upset at the fact that Johnny Storm is now black. That's one of the reasons they're upset about this movie, that Johnny Storm is now black. Did people get pissed off when Nick Fury, who was originally originally white in the comics? Did people get pissed that Nick Fury, who was originally a white character in the comics and in several of his animated appearances, were they pissed off when they made him black and cast Samuel L. Jackson? No. And look at how good that choice was. The point is, just because a character gets changed over racially or ethically, doesn't mean it's a bad choice. And just because the story has to be switched around to be like, okay, Johnny Storm's family, who obviously going to be a black family, adopted a white girl in Sue Storm and made them her adopted daughter, and basically made Johnny and Sue brother and sister that way, doesn't mean it's a bad decision. Just because they want to make this movie dark and gritty doesn't mean it's a bad decision. It's going to have its funny moments, yes. It's going to have its funny and humorous moments. There's no doubt about it, because they can't keep a movie like that dark and gritty all the way through. And this is just a teaser trailer they're showing us, folks. This is a teaser trailer. You have to wait until you fully experience the film. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to find time or anything, because I'm working like anybody else is to go out and see the movie. I'll probably try to see it. And you know what? What it looks like they're trying to do has potential. You can't just judge it on the teaser. You can't just judge it on the cast, on a certain cast. You can't judge it on the fact that they're younger. You can't do that. I mean, if that was the case, why are we judging Nickelodeon's Ninja Turtles that more often, huh? I mean, I've come out and I've been honest. I don't like the fact that Nickelodeon's version of the Ninja Turtles has April, Casey, and Karai as freaking teenagers. I don't like that. I'm used to seeing April, Casey, and Karai as adults. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not a success, because look, it's a freaking success. People are clamoring for more. They want more. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. If people are complaining about things, why aren't they complaining about, oh, why do you keep putting those Equestria girls here? Why this? Why that? Why are you doing this to that character? Why are you doing this to this character? Why this? Why'd you change that? Why'd you change? If that was the case, then why is that show popular and still succeeding? Exactly. Transformers, all 4 fucking films. Why do you think that is success? It isn't because, oh, I want to go and see how bad and fucked up they made everything. No, you go there because of nostalgia. You go there because you're a Transformers fan, and despite how you feel about it in the end, you go because you're a fan. You want to see either it's going to be good, you're good enough to live up to the Transformers name, but you go there overall as a fan, despite the changes they make. You go there because you're a fan. And that's exactly what this movie is about. It's about giving something to the fans. It's about the fans. Okay? As crazy as that sounds. It's about giving something that's contemporary, up-to-date, and modernized for the fans. Nowadays, like I said with Ninja Turtles, you have a young Ninja Turtle, a show with a young April, a teenage Casey, and a teenage Karai. Why would you be mad at the Fantastic Four being aged younger? Guess what? It's no different than Nickelodeon airing Iron Man's Armored Adventures, with Tony Stark, Iron Man, as a teenager, with Pepper as a teenager. You know, maybe with Thor and the Hulk as teenagers. Nobody's complaining there. The fact is, you shouldn't be complaining. It's just a teaser trailer. It's just a teaser, and we need to look at it as such. We need to understand it as such. Okay? We cannot allow ourselves to be judgmental on it. Just because we don't like certain changes doesn't mean it won't be good. Because like I said, if that was the case, why aren't we pooning Nickelodeon's Ninja Turtles? Why aren't we pooning some of the changes that Hasbro's My Little Pony Friendship and Magic has made? Huh? Why aren't we pooning that? Exactly. Exactly. We're not pooning it because it's good. We may not like the changes, but it's good. And we like it. That's the whole point, folks. So I think we shouldn't be complaining about it just yet. The only right time, I believe, in my opinion, the only right time, in my opinion, that I think we should be complaining about something like that is when the movie is out. When the movie comes out, then we have plenty to complain about. If it's bad. If it's a train wreck from start to finish, then yeah, it's bad. Then we have plenty to complain about. But we're still going to go see it, not just because we want to see how bad it is, but we go see it because we're fans. We're Marvel comic fans. We're fans of Fantastic Four. And if this is going to lead to some kind of cinematic universe tie-in, a crossover with X-Men, basically Fox's version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it ties in with the Fantastic Four crossing over with X-Men, then so be it. The point is, let's not throw torches just yet. Okay? Let's not throw torches just yet. Let's see how it plays out. And again, remember, it's just a teaser trailer. But that's all I'm going to say on that right now. You guys let me know what you think. Tell me if you agree or not. Talk to y'all later.